Why are you moving into the subscription model? Give us a little background in what is your business model today and how that is evolving. And do you also see advertising being a big portion of that?
Yeah, I think, again, you have to go back to the web for inspiration. If you look at how, say, someone that has a buddy list on, say, AOL Instant Messenger, that's the proverbial sticky community. And unless I can convince all my buddies to shift to another brand, we're all going to stay right there. And there's a lot of value that can accrue around that community. And again, it's really more driven by simplicity and convenience than anything else. And that's an aspect of what are now known as disruptive products. That generally you have an emerging new market that is choosing simplicity and convenience over other factors. And that's a very big part of this whole revolution around casual gaming, and also I think around these social applications on the network.
But for now, the revenue derived is mainly through just the selling of the game, one game, and receiving that.
Right. So if you look in the rearview mirror, well, most of the history is individual game downloads. But
and how many games have been downloaded? Or how many games have you sold?
In our case, it's over 30 million.
30 million, right. Okay, wow. Now, Jamdat was bought by EA for, what, $600 million?
Almost 700.
And Glue Mobile went public this year. What do you think they did right? I mean, those are incredibly successful exits, I would imagine.
Jamdat got into the market very early, so they were started at least 3 or maybe 4 years before Digital Chocolate. So they got in on the ground floor, and they were able to be a launch partner for mobile games with many of the carriers when the carriers first got started with mobile games, and that gave them a significant relationship and higher market share. And at the time that Jamdat went public, they were the only mobile game company that was in a position to go public. So they had sort of a commanding position with the investors that cared about the category. I would say more recently, I mean, Glue is also a company that has been around much longer than we have, and so they weren't started quite as early as Jamdat, but fairly early, so they've had more time to mature and develop the business. And it's a very promising sign for our industry that additional companies are going public. Another one is Gameloft, that is a very solid competitor. That's a public company in France, and there are other companies in other parts of the world. So there's starting to develop more of an industry of public companies that investors can look at, and that's good for everybody. For there to be a sector that has more than multiple companies that are publicly traded, and to see their market caps get to be big enough that we can attract more institutional investors to the segment.